the program, we're going to be talking about what a lot of people are trying and attempting to do during the month of January is trying to fulfill their fitness goals because it's a brand new year and they may want to kind of take on those fitness goals. And I got just a man here to talk all about it. And I have Evan Platonas, who is the Fitness and Wellness Director at the Center. Evan, welcome into the program.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. Thanks, Dale.
Well, it's good to have you with us. And you know, the thing is that, as I mentioned, so many people have set their resolutions and they're wanting to either to lose weight or maybe just get in better health. And sometimes we kind of fall off after maybe a month or so of doing that. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the ways that maybe we can help them out. And you, as the Fitness and Wellness Director there at the Center, certainly you've got the information to be able to help us out on. There's one thing I think that, as we were talking before going on air, is maybe taking a look at maybe the reason why people are doing this, right, Evan?
Absolutely. What I've found in my experience is a lot of people set goals and then a little bit of time goes by and they forget their why. They lose touch with the original intent of the goal, or maybe even they don't dive deeper about why they're setting the goal in the first place. So just an example that I use with myself is, I'm a shorter guy. So let's say I set a goal of putting on a lot of muscle, right? That with my body type, it just might not be possible. So it's also important to set semi-realistic goals. But what I found is a lot of people may be setting a goal there's a deeper insecurity there, and they haven't dissected through that. So what I like to do is I like to encourage people to love themselves where they're at, but also be excited about where you're heading. So.
But that's a good way of looking at it, because I think that way is a better chance of achieving their goals, don't you think, Evan?
Yes. Yep. Well, definitely.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you've heard the phrase baby steps. Well, there's a reason for that. It's good to set a long-term vision, but it's also good to set little goals along the way to help get you up those staircase.
Yeah. So. Well, there's a group of us here at WLEN are taking on a little bit of fitness challenge of trying to lose some weight too. So maybe give us some ideas of maybe some things that we should be looking at in those realistic goals too. Evan.
Sure. So first I have to say I'm impressed when I walked into the station. Lots of fresh cut vegetables laid out. They're serious about this challenge, so I can tell.
Yes.
So what I would say for encouragement is, first off, just remember that health is such a broad thing. You might have some physical health goals, some mental health goals, but strictly related to the weight loss goal at the station. I'd say some things that are going to be important are getting consistent cardiovascular exercise, getting consistent strength training, and obviously watching your caloric intake. So making sure that your balance between energy in and energy out is good. So keeping your portion sizes a little smaller, focusing on the quality of food that you're eating. A lot of people take more of a measuring their food and counting their calories. Some people don't do well with that type of approach and do better with just think about the types of food you're eating. So you may find you might try one and that doesn't work very well and shift over to another approach. So does that make sense?
Yeah, it sure does. I've also heard that the phrase "eating clean." Maybe explain to our listeners what is meant by eating clean.
Sure. So like anything else, there's you can become perfectionistic about it. Like myself, for example, I if I'm honest, I eat pretty clean throughout the year.
Yeah.
Around the center, I'm kind of known for my goofy homemade smoothies and things like that. And you genuinely won't find me eating something that's not unhealthy. And it's not because I'm trying to deprive myself, but just I like the way I feel better when I eat well. But clean eating in general, just within reason, just means sticking to whole foods and staying further away from those processed foods. So if you're going to the grocery store, trying to get a lot of your stuff from the produce section rather than a lot of the boxed crackers and that type of thing. So
yeah. So that's what is meant by clean eating, eating clean,
yes.
Right, Evan? Yeah.
Sometimes people can mean it in the sense of like you can get really into it and look at the ingredients of everything and try to stay away from any artificial sweeteners and things like that. But if you're just starting out with this, I would say just to start with your basic, when you go to the grocery store, try to get lots of fruits and vegetables. If if you're having grains, stick to more whole grains, that type of approach.
And probably try to stay away from those snacking times too,
Yes.
right?
Yep. And a healthy tip that I've found, and it definitely works for me, go to the grocery store when you're full.
Yes.
Go when you're hungry. And I was surprised. I didn't think of this, but it really makes a big difference because my eyes are this wide when I'm hungry at the grocery store and everything looks good.
I have to agree with you because there are a lot of times when I leave, I usually like to do my grocery shopping on Saturdays. So when I leave here on Saturdays, normally 9 times out of 10, I probably haven't eaten anything. And then I get to the grocery store and it's just like, oh, this looks good. That looks good. But if I eat something or have a lunch before I go, yeah, that does make a difference. You just get what's on that list, and you don't stray from it, right? Yeah. So that does ring true.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Any other maybe tips that in your experience, Evan, that might help people out as they're starting off on the fitness program?
Yeah. So regarding more on the exercise side of things, it's important to pick something that you at least semi-enjoy. A lot of people I see, they're doing exercise that they really hate. I mean, to be honest. And if you think about something that you really can't stand doing, you're not going to do it. Whereas if you try to make it as tolerable as possible, so I like to encourage people to try a variety of things and stick to what they enjoy more so. But on so related to strength training more so, there's a million different ways you can strength train. You can use more of machines. You can use free weights. You can use body weight exercises. But overall, just the key is picking something that you can see yourself doing sustainably over time. That's the biggest one that comes out to me.
One thing that I really detest is burpees.
I think 99.9% of us are in that boat for sure, Dale.
But I know sometimes it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. And the thing is that with even just with losing weight or just getting yourself healthier, if that people say, well, I don't want, doing weights or anything. I don't want to get big and bulky. That's not necessarily the idea behind it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Big and bulky is more so related to you have to be very strategic about the way you eat in order to achieve that type of body. There may be extra supplements you might be taking, and a lot of it relates more to, especially for females, it's you're not going to find that if you just start strength training, you're not going to get big and bulky. If anything, you're going to get more defined. So, one of the other things that came to mind was expect, if you haven't worked out in a while, or if you're new to it, you're going to be sore. So keep that in mind for your first couple workouts. It might be smarter to ease into it rather than going all out on day one, because then you won't be able to move for 3 or 4 days. So I made that mistake. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I have too. Yes, yeah.
So start small. Leave a little bit more to desire rather than overstretching yourself and saying, man, that really sucked.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that if you do that too, that might deter you, saying, "Oh man, that I'm so sore. I'm not going to pursue this," and that's not what you want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. And with the strength training, especially as you mentioned for women too, is not necessarily is that using weights is going to develop that, but it's just more that using your muscles so that your muscles are then, correct me if I'm wrong, your muscles will be burning a lot more calories too, right?
Yeah. So and especially long term, there's a saying that muscle tends to burn more calories than if you're more muscular, you're going to burn more calories at rest. So long term strength training, building some muscle is going to be helpful for giving you a higher just base caloric expenditure. So if you're more muscular, let's say you normally burn about 2,000 calories a day, you might change your body composition a little bit, and you might find that extra muscle helps you to burn an extra 300, 400, 500 calories a day. So
we went and mentioned this and alluded to it about controlling your portions, your size portions, but I think sometimes people starting out and trying to be more healthy and maybe losing weight is that they're going to take and almost eat hardly anything, and that's not necessarily a good thing either, is it, Evan?
No, not generally. No. You definitely don't want to deprive yourself. because then you're missing a lot of nutrients that your body needs. That's why for me personally, I like to tell people to think about the quality of food that they're eating. So if let's take an ordinary dinner plate, for example. You want to have good spread, good variety of vegetables on there, some fruit. Load up on those things so that you're less likely to overeat on some of the other things that may be fattier or maybe have more calories. But that's one of the things I wanted to mention related to nutrition was some people are built for just a cold turkey approach where, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna stop eating everything that's bad and stop drinking pop and just do a complete 180. Most people are not wired that way, and it's helpful for let's take Oreos, for example. Let's say I really love Oreos, and normally I eat like 10 Oreos in one setting. Okay? What I like to tell people is, maybe next week try to shoot for 6 instead of 10 and have some fruit or some vegetables with it at the beginning so that you're a little more full and gradually work your way down that way. And it doesn't mean you can't have them anymore, just proportions, right?
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Yeah. So that's a good thing to try to remember, too. And the thing is that a lot of times for some people, it's that late night eating, too, is a big thing, too, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. The problem there is it tends to be distracted eating. Yeah. From the studies I've looked into, that compare groups that eat, at certain times of the day and whatnot. It's not so much about the time of day that you're eating. It's more so about the overall food and quality of food that you're eating. So late at night, it tends to be you're tired, you're feeling lazy, you're distracted by maybe television or something else. So you're not as in tune with how much your body's taking in, and it's easy to get distracted and just keep eating and eating and eating, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about some of the things there at the center that are available for people to take advantage of, if they're trying to achieve that fitness goal that happens.
Sure. So selfishly, as someone who's a personal trainer, I want to speak about personal training first because I think that one of the most helpful things you can do is get with somebody who's a qualified fitness professional to help guide you along the way. So we have a lot of good gyms in our area with a lot of qualified people. The center in particular, I'm very proud of our team, and we have a very knowledgeable team, very experienced, lots of experience working with a lot of different types of people. So that's one of the things we have going on at the center all throughout the year. Okay. But in particular, for the month of January, we're offering a very good membership promotion, so especially for families. So right now, we're currently offering $10 off your monthly membership for the first 12 months, so for the first year that you join as a member. But even more importantly, selfishly for me, is free kids care. Between $10 off a month and free kids care, you're getting a pretty significant value there off of the normal membership dues.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, is there other things that are available too at the center too, Evan?
Yeah. So just to give you a quick rundown, so at the center we have a lot of free exercise classes that are included with your center membership, so about 50 a week. And that ranges from every type of exercise, from something like yoga and Pilates that's more of a gentle approach, to something that I teach a class where we're flipping tires and doing sledgehammers and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. We have aquatic classes where you're doing you have styrofoam dumbbells and you're doing some punches and chest fly, jumping jacks in the water, that type of thing. We also have senior classes, silver sneakers classes, and then we have cycling classes. So there's a lot of stuff going on all the time. But there's also we have a gymnasium. We have the corner park, which is a little outdoor water park, especially for the summertime. There's always something going on at the center. I love the variety there.
Yeah. If somebody's interested and would like to pursue and get started, what's the best way for them to get more information from you and at the center there, Evan?
Sure. Pertaining to becoming a center member?
Yeah.
Sure. The best place I'd say to start would be to just simply go to the website, which is www.thecenter.info. And center is spelled R-E, not E-R.
That's right.
I know that always throws me off.
Sure.
But that's a great way to get plugged in. Another way is just to simply call our main line. Mm-hmm. And you'll just speak with one of our membership associates there, and they're very caring people. So even if you just say, hey, I'm new to this thing and I want to know where to go from here, they'd be happy to just chat with you. But that number is going to be 517-263-6232. And then if you want to speak with me directly, I'll give you my work number as well.
Okay.
So my number is 517-438-8841.
Okay.
And I'm really just, whether people join the center or not, I just want to see them having success with their endeavors. So.
And it shows, just by talking with you, it shows that you really are interested in wanting people to get healthier and to, whether it be losing weight or just, just getting into a healthy routine. Because a lot of times I think we are, as a society, we've gotten to be such a sedentary society that we need to just move around just a little bit more too.
That was one of the other things, I'm glad you brought that up, was just sitting in general. Doing whatever you can do to stand up more throughout the day, even if it's, so like for me, I have a stand-up desk at work, and I noticed a huge difference in my hips when I got the stand-up desk. And so there's a phrase that sitting is the new smoking. I think it's a little extreme, but there is some truth that, our bodies are getting stiff and tight, and a lot of injuries come from that chronic sitting, and so definitely spending more time standing up throughout the day is a great thing to do.
Excellent. Evan, it's been great to have you on the program and to get us into that move and get us energized about getting ourselves more healthy for 2023 and beyond that too as well. And hopefully that they'll be able to not only contact the center but also yourself as well to get that started.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dale.
Oh, really appreciate it.
I wish you guys success in your challenge, and especially you.
We're going to be working on it, that's for sure. Thanks so much. My guest has been Evan Platonas, who is the Fitness and Wellness Director at the Center here on Community Conversation. I'm Dale Gardner. We'll talk again soon.